Hi there, this is Tommy from Systems for Dentists, and in this video we'll look at patient accounts. We'll look at how you can view a patient's accounts, adding charges, add sundry items, how you can print invoices. We'll look at how you can take payments, print statements, how to process refunds, and also how to view the dashboard in order to cash up. I'm going to make a change to the appointment screen to indicate patients who have an outstanding balance. To do that, I'm going to go up to the drop-down menu at the top of the screen, turn on Show Balance flag. So now you can see this patient has that icon. This indicates they've got an outstanding balance. Also, if I select the patient's summary in here shows the outstanding balance. To open the record from the appointment screen, I simply double-click on the patient name. This opens the patient record, and at the top left you can see their outstanding balance, which for this patient is £62.10. Next, I'll have a look at the patient accounts. So to do that, I'll select this icon at the top. This screen will show all charges and payments made for that patient. I can see there's one item on here for £62.10. This is the treatment charge added. If I click Show All, it will show me previous historical payments and charges. The first thing that I'll do with this patient's accounts is I'll demonstrate how you can add a charge. So charges can be added for any additional charges. The date will default to today, but you can change that if required. You can charge against the practice or an individual if you wish. And then you can enter the amount for the charge. I'm going to enter £20 and I'm going to indicate that this is an FTA charge as this patient has failed to attend. You can print a receipt or email a receipt if that is required, and then if I click OK, that will be added to the accounts. And also you'll note that at the top the balance is now updated to include this additional charge. Next we'll have a look at how you can add a credit note. So this could be used for a voucher. You can enter an amount that's been applied. That will then adjust the balance accordingly, and then you could add any notes on there if required. I'll cancel that. You can also apply a discount by selecting this button, and it could be a fixed amount. So I'll enter an amount of £10 and you can see how that adjusts the balance, or you could say a percentage of the account owing. So let's say we'll give them a discount of 20%. Then the outstanding amount is updated. I'll cancel that though. Also, you've got a write-off option. So if you wanted to write off a particular charge, you can select this. You would enter any notes in there as required. And then if I were to click OK, that would then remove those charges from the patient record. However, I'll cancel that. The plan option can be used if the patient would like to pay in installments. The plan could be fixed term or perpetual, which would mean it would just continue running until you stop it. And you can indicate start date, how many months you want to pay over, the total amount to be paid, any fees, charges, any deposit that the patient is going to pay, and the number of installments. So if I change that to 12, that will calculate the amount for each installment. You can enter a description, and if you were to click Activate Plan, that would start the plan. This will then add the installment amount to the patient's account on the 1st of every month. You're also able to run a report to show all patients on a payment plan, and you can reconcile payments from there. However, I won't activate this plan and I'll cancel that in this example. The UPG option can be used to integrate payments taken via a card machine if that is set up and enabled. Let's have a look though in a bit more detail at Sundry. So this can be used to add sundry items to the patient's accounts. Click Add, and then you can select from any of the sundry items, indicate the quantity. So let's say 2 of these items will be sold, and then that will indicate the price, the net total for those 2 items. You can add further items if you need to, and you can do a search from here. So I'm going to search for TP brush. Again, select that and add that. If the patient changes their mind and if they no longer want one of these items, you can delete items from there. I'll click Save, and now you'll see that the patient's balance updates to include that additional charge. I can print an invoice from here. Select Invoice. You can select which invoice document you want to produce. I'll click OK to select that one. That creates a document which includes charges and a total for those charges. You can then save that, print a draft, print a final version, export as PDF, or even email that invoice to the patient. I'll return to the account screen. So now the patient is ready to pay, so let's add a payment to their account. Select Payments. Note that the date defaults to today, but you can backdate payments if you wish. And then you can select what method the patient is paying. If I enter a cash amount, so I'm going to say that they're going to pay £90, I can check Give Change, and it shows me how much change I need to give to the patient. If I select this icon, however, for credit, it will enter the full outstanding balance amount. You can enter any notes in here if you need to, and you can print a receipt from here, or you can email a receipt if that's required. So if I click OK now, you'll see that the patient's balance is now cleared. Also note that the payments and charges have disappeared from the screen. If I click Show All, you can display those items again, and you can see the payment here that was made. Next, we'll look at how you can produce patient statements. There are three types: statement of account, a treatment statement, and a proposed treatment statement. We'll have a look at statement of account first. It will show all charges and payments on that patient record, but you can change the time period if you wish. I just want to show charges and payments from the 16th of October. So I can select this date, click OK, select the type of statement, and then you'll see it just shows debits and credits from the date of 16th of October. If I go back to the account screen, the other statement option allows you to produce a statement based on a specific course of treatment. I'll cancel that though in this example. Memo can be used to add a note to the patient's account screen. So for example, I'm going to say that the patient prefers to pay in installments. And if I save that note, you'll see that this then appears in that box. And it is viewable to any user who opens up the patient record. Next, we'll look at how you can process a refund in SFD. This is one of the more complicated features of SFD. We recommend that you contact the support desk when doing this for the first time to ensure that you do it correctly. To do a refund correctly, you need to ensure that the patient has a credit on their account. So this would involve either deleting or uncharging the treatment that has been invoiced, or deleting any charges on the account. You'll see this account is currently balanced, so I'm going to actually delete the charge for the Sundry item. So I can right click on this charge, select delete, and I'll say yes to delete this item. As it's a Sundry item, I can indicate that I want to return that back to stock. You can see now on the account the patient is £2.98 in credit. So I can now process the refund. So to do that, I'll select the refund button here. I can see the different payments that the patient has made, and I can select the payment that relates to this refund. If I double click on here, then it shows me that there's currently an unallocated balance which relates to the Sundry item that was deleted. I can then double click on that and indicate the refund amount that I want to give back to the patient. I'm going to enter the full amount of £2.98, click OK, and it tells me that I'm refunding that amount to the patient. If I click OK again, it will then show me as part of that payment, £2.98 of that will be refunded. You can indicate how the refund will be done, so let's do that to the patient's credit card. and then you can enter any notes in there as required. I'll say that this is relating to the refund for the Sundry item. You can then print or email a receipt if you want. I'll click OK to apply that refund. You'll see that the refund displays on the screen and that the patient's balance is now returned to 0. If I uncheck Show All, you'll see that those historical payments and charges now disappear from the screen. So I've now finished working with this record, so I'm going to close it down, go back to the appointment screen, and as the patient has now left the building, I can right click and mark them as departed. So the last thing to demonstrate as part of accounts is the dashboard, and you can access this from the drop down at the top of the screen. If I select dashboard, this will show me all payments taken on that day, and you can see individual payments on that list down there, and it totals up all payments on the right hand side here. So this can be used for cashing up at the end of the day. You can see allocations, so you can see where payments have been allocated to, which individuals and which are allocated to the practice. Reminders will show any email appointment reminders to be sent that day, and petty cash will show any petty cash payments that have been made. If I go back to payments, you can look in the diary to show previous day's payments if you wish, and then at the top you can print or you can export that as an Excel spreadsheet if required. That concludes this training video. Please contact us if you have any further queries or questions relating to use of systems for dentists.